guys, it's Kai. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new speed build video. And today we are going to be building a house for a group of paranormal investigators. Woo! And today we are going to be building this heavily influenced New Orleans style house in the world of Willow Creek, and we're gonna build this house on a lot known as Hallow Slow, if I'm not mistaken, and it is a 30 by 20 lot. And I really had fun building this house simply because I really like the design and the architecture that is in the houses of New Orleans that I always see in like movies and like TV shows like the Vampire Diaries. And I think there is a street in New Orleans called the Bourbon Street, and I really find it interesting because bourbon is like an alcohol, if I'm not mistaken. And I really like the show, but I stopped watching the series, I think after season 3 or 4, where Bonnie, the witch, is trapped in the time loop or something. But anyways, this house is going to be fitted for 2 to 6 sims depending on you. And I really like the outcome and the theme of this build because I think it is something different. Even though a lot of simmers have actually done like paranormal investigators houses, but I wanted to make one because I wanted to just hop on the bandwagon. But anyway, I really had fun building this house, and it has 3 rooms, and I imagine that 2 of the sims that live here are couples, they are married. Another 2 are maybe boyfriend and girlfriend, and the other 2 are like they don't have any relationship with them within themselves, except for they are friends, and they all work together to solve like haunted cases, haunted house cases, and I find it really interesting also. But before we get further into the build, I just want to say that this build and theme is also actually influenced by the Conjuring movie, in which there are a couple of paranormal investigators, which are Ed and Lorraine Warren. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are particularly with that. Are familiar with that. And for this build, there will also be a basement at the bottom. And I say that it's influenced by The Conjuring because in that movie, after Ed and Lorraine solve the haunting case, they collect this, I think it is like a music box or something, a music box that belonged to the boy who lived there, and they keep it in this room full of collectibles. So I was kind of inspired by that, and I decided to include that room of collectibles inside this build, in which it is in the basement. And I really hope you guys like this build as much as I did building it. And for the color scheme of this build, at first I wanted to go with something plain and simple like blue and white, but in the end I decided to go with a more vibrant color for the exterior, and a color that I don't usually use in my builds, and it is a red color. And I paired it with the wallpaper that came with the spooky stuff pack, which is, I think it is it's white, but the texture on it is like a bit like spooky and it looks a bit grungy and old, and I really like the effect that it gives off because I imagine that this house is actually a house that is not so well taken care of. So in the in and out of the house, the wallpaper, for example, has like been torn and there are cobwebs everywhere, and I was really happy with the outcome because it was exactly what I was aiming for. But as for the landscaping I kept it minimal. There is no colorful landscaping at all, except that I had this idea that I wanted to put in like a lot of bushes to make it look like it's not that well taken care of. And there's just no garden at all basically. But for the backyard of the house, I will be including a swing, and this is because when I was building this build, I initially wanted to make it for a family of paranormal investigators, but then I decided to change things up and make it for a group of paranormal investigators. But in the end, I forgot that the swing was there when I put it there, so I didn't remove it. And the backyard also is a minimal landscape backyard. It is more towards shrubs and bushes that are not well taken care of or not trimmed. So you see that there are dried rose bushes, and also they have those trees that are from the vampires pack. If I'm not mistaken, it is kind of a creepy looking tree, but it gives off this really spooky aesthetic that I was aiming for as well. And I also ended up adding a fountain in there to make it look like it's an old house, and old that once used to be like really nice and pretty and bright, but now it has become a workspace for a group of paranormal thrillers or paranormal investigators. But I also ended up adding those garden pots that you saw just now, to make it a tiny bit more lively. And as you can see, I have started already working on the interior of the house, and I kept the ground floor of the house with green type of flooring. But for the kitchen of this build, the green color, I will be changing it to a brown color, because I thought that the green color of the floor tiles that came with the paranormal stuff pack didn't suit the kitchen. And I wanted to make the kitchen look kind of clean compared to the other parts of the house. And this is going to be the living room, and the living room is really cluttered because, like I said, it's a house for a group of paranormal enthusiasts. So I ended up putting a lot of documents all over the place, on the floor, on the couch, everything, everywhere, and just make it look like it's they only focus on their work instead of their cleanliness. So I ended up doing that, and I really like the outcome of the living room. I think it is one of my favorite parts of this build, because it looks like it's a proper messy home instead of me arranging the clutter around. I don't think it will suit the aesthetic that I was going for, but I don't know if you know what I mean. But anyways, you can see that I put those documents from the Strangerville pack everywhere, literally everywhere, and I also use the yellow wallpaper to match it with the green tile floor, and I think it looks really interesting and a bit colorful, a bit livelier, but at the same time it's super messy, and I really like that, because like I said, I was aiming for that type of vibe, and I think I managed to do that in this build. But let me know what you guys think, of course, in the comments. And if you have the pack, the paranormal stuff pack already, what is your favorite thing about it? For me, I think it would be the bohemian shelf over there, and also the furniture, the couch in general, because it looks really boho and it looks very different than the other packs. But anyways, this part is going to be the dining room of the build, and I chose I think I will be changing the wallpaper to a darker red, a maroon type, and I also ended up putting a cats and dogs corner couch in this part, as well as a bedroom upstairs. You will see that after this, but I really wanted to make the dining room also look cluttered, and filled it up with a lot of those documents from the Strangerville pack, and I think it looks great. And I pretty much stuck to the same color for this build, which is yellow, green, red, and different shades of those colors, because I wanted to make it look consistent and not too colorful. And I think it's just brilliant. But let me know what you guys think, of course, in the comments. Please let me know, because I want to know your feedback to improve my skills in building and furnishing. But anyways, this part is going to be the kitchen of the build, and I will be changing that wallpaper to a plain wallpaper that came with the Realm of Magic pack, and it is simple tile wallpaper. And I chose to change the wallpaper and the flooring of specifically this area, because I think that it was too much. The wallpaper didn't suit the kitchen, because where the kitchen is, it's where everything is messy and there's food and stains all over. So I didn't think that the patterned wallpaper suited this section, so I ended up changing that to the Realm of Magic one to match with that wallpaper. I changed the green tile floor to the brown color swatch, and I think it looks nice. It looks kind of clean. I think only this part of the house is the cleanest part, and maybe like one of the bedrooms upstairs. And as for the bedroom, like I said, I think I said this previously in the early part of the video, but I'll just say it again. The number of bedrooms in this build, there are 3 bedrooms, in which 2 of them are shared for the couples that are married and girlfriend boyfriend, and the other one is just a room for the single sims, single solo sims, but they share the same bedroom. And the number of bathrooms in this build, there are 2 full bathrooms and 1 like half bathroom, which is next to the kitchen counter you saw just now. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but it's in the kitchen and it's next to it, and it's just like a 4 tile square room, so it's pretty much small, and I included a toilet in it and also a sink in it, and not a shower. But anyways, you saw that I cluttered the kitchen quite well also. But this room in particular is going to be the basement, and the basement is where the collectible room is, where I mentioned that I was inspired by Ed and Lorraine Warren in the movie The Conjuring. It's where they collect these like antique like statues and dolls and stuff like that, as if they were haunted. So let's just imagine that the stuff I put in here are like haunted, and maybe the paranormal investigators got them from like their cases that they solved. And I really love the outcome because I used a lot of debug items that came with the new pack, as well as some Star Wars pack and other packs as well, to clutter it up. And I think the debug menu offers a lot more items than what we usually see in the build by catalog. And yeah, I really like that room as well, even though it's not as creepy as I wanted it to be. But anyways, we are going to be working on the upstairs area, and I forgot to mention that the upstairs area also has a like half living room where I ended up putting like the vampiric organ that came with the vampires pack, as well as an armchair and also a grandfather's clock. But this room over here is going to be the master bedroom, where the master bedroom has its own bathroom. And I decided to go with this light blue color to match with the yellow curtains, and I think this is actually the only room that is looks pretty compared to the other rooms, because the other rooms I use the wallpapers that are kind of darker in a different swatch of red, I think, or blue, yeah, blue and red. But anyways, I use the colors of light blue and yellow over here in this room. And I think it is also one of my favorite rooms for this build, because it's properly cluttered and it doesn't look so messy. And I really like that, because I'm not so much of a clutter person myself, but I really tried myself to properly clutter this build, and I would appreciate any feedback you guys have. If you want to let me know, please let me know in the comments. But anyways, this is the half living room area that I was talking about, and I squeezed in an organ and also a grandfather's clock and that armchair that came with the new stuff pack, and I think that is my favorite one. The furniture in the new stuff pack is really nice in my opinion. But if you guys already bought the stuff pack, please let me know what you guys think of it, because I want to know what you guys like from the pack. For me, it's the furniture, but I don't know about you guys. Maybe in the area of gameplay or the Create-A-Sim outfits maybe. But over here is going to be the other couple's bedroom, and I wanted to squeeze in a study table in there, but I didn't, because it didn't really fit and it would look too like cramped in there. So I ended up putting a display shelf in there with a lot of like collectibles. But anyways, this is going to be the third bedroom and final bedroom for the build, which is the bedroom for the single sims. And I chose, like I said, a different shade of blue to match with the carpet, and which also has some like faded red in it. And I also ended up using a drawer from the base game and cluttered it up with a lot of like personal items, and For the bathrooms of this build, I pretty much kept everything the same, the objects as well, the counters, the swatches, and also the wallpaper and the curtains. But yeah, the bathroom is quite simple. It is not so messy, but the master bedroom's bathroom has an extra display shelf that I used from the Star Wars pack, and I just realized that I've never really actually built a something using the Star Wars pack. I don't actually know what to build with that pack, because I mean, I don't even know why I bought it. I guess it was because it was on sale, but yeah. Well, never mind. Anyways, this is going to be the last part of the video. Well, the second last part. And I really hope you guys like this build. If you do, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!